Mobile has a mayor's race coming up August 22nd, and if needed, there's going to be a runoff on October 3rd. And that's why Fox 10 News has commissioned an exclusive poll from Jonathan Gray of Strategy Research. We wanted to get sort of a snapshot of what Mobile voters think about the Mobile mayor's race. So, Jonathan, tell us about the numbers that you came up with when the poll was taken and the rest.
Well, Bob, we surveyed almost 3,000 people right here in the city of Mobile. That gives us a really small margin of error of just 2%. So that means that our numbers won't be off more than 2%, and that's a big sample. Nationally, we only normally survey 1,000 to 1,200 voters, but because of what happened in the presidential election and a lot of questions about how accurate polls are, we went over the top on this one just to make sure in something as important as the mayor's race, we could have confidence in the numbers.
And this was specifically on May 11th, is that right?
We polled for almost 3,000 registered voters just here in the city of Mobile on May 11th.
And these are people who identified themselves as registered voters.
We utilize the state registered voter database. We only call active voters, which means you have to have voted in one of the last 4 elections. We also use their information to help us drill down and know a little bit more about the voters. We know who's in their household, how old they are through their date of birth, and also their race and other social information that helps us understand who the voters are we're talking to.
So it's representative of the people in the city of Mobile.
Yes, it is.
And the fact that 50% of Mobile's population is African Americans, that's a very important constituency to reach.
It is. We want to make sure that we're reflective. We don't just take a random survey of people at home. We actually use a voter model to make sure that it's reflective of the census and registered voter information in Mobile, so that we can tell the people that we're giving the survey to, and in this case the people back at home, just exactly what the voter model would look like if it were election day.
All right, let's take a look at the Stimson approval ratings, and we're going to animate the numbers here, and you can see they're pretty high, 73%. Did this surprise you in a way?
It really didn't surprise me, because I see a lot of these numbers month in and month out, and the right direction, wrong direction questions for Mobile have been very strong over the last couple of years as we've seen an economic recovery come about. And also we see a lot more co-work between the council and the mayor and what's going on. So this number didn't surprise me, but I think looking back 4 years now as he has served in office, it gave me an opportunity to really reflect on what a huge, remarkable movement this is. You know, he ran on One Mobile, but they started out contentious with the council. Of course, you had the Sam Jones on the water board debacle.
Right.
You go back through the penny tax, and Mobile's had some growing pains. We've had some racial issues, not as much by ourselves, but Black Lives Matter, some of the things going on nationally with the election of President Trump and the divisiveness that's caused. In light of all those things, this is a huge number.
Let's take a look at the African American voter, for example, how they feel, how the mayor has been doing. And as we animate the numbers, you can see the numbers between excellent and good are pretty high.
Look, this is a great set of numbers. Again, a One Mobile mayor who wanted to bring everybody together. And you look at where he was in his last election in 2013, they didn't look anything like this. As a matter of fact, just 2 years ago, his numbers didn't look anything like this. Bob, people always ask, why do we want to throw race into this? Why do we want to know? Why do we have to ask? This is an important factor. The South has a history with racial issues, and Mobile in particular has had some racial problems, not just under Mayor Stimson's term, but our history here. We're also a majority minority city. So we want to know if somebody else were to run, how has Sandy Stimson done? Is he vulnerable with one segment of the community over another?
Right.
These numbers right here tell us that he's not, but what do they look like on an approval rating, just between good and bad?
Right, let's look at those collapse numbers, as you call them, and take a look at, he still does really well.
This is huge. 60 to 40% approval rating. Now remember, our citywide with whites and African Americans included was 73%. 60% amongst African Americans only. This is a dramatic increase since he first took office. It truly is the revolution of a One Mobile coming together. And you know, I think the mayor would tell you this hasn't been a sprint, it's been a marathon, it's something he's worked hard towards. But if I'm somebody running against the mayor, what's his weakness? This arguably would have been the greatest weakness. What does he look like to the African American community? Do they feel like he's delivering? These results tell us they do.
Right, and there's been a lot of talk that maybe former mayor, the man he defeated, Sam Jones, would enter the race against Mayor Sandy Stimson. We asked that question also in our exclusive Fox 10 News poll, and these are the numbers we came up with of all voters who were polled.
This is a good showing. 49% for Mayor Stimpson, 35% for Mayor Jones, and 16% for our other undecided. And what we're looking for in an other and undecided category is you don't like these two, maybe there's somebody else you want to vote for. Now, this 49% number, that's a good number, but it's a double-edged sword. As a political consultant, if he's my candidate, one of the things I want to see is over 50% for an incumbent, because the voters know who he is. They know his name ID. They've had 3 to 4 years to understand what he stands for. 49% is not the perfect number. I would have rather seen 53, 54% with an undecided. So I said, let's collapse the numbers. Let's take the undecideds out and let's look at Mayor Stimpson versus former Mayor Jones.
And here, Mayor Stimpson wins again, 58% of the vote.
This is the number that makes me feel good. This is the number, if he's my candidate, this is the number that makes me say, okay, we're going in the right direction. I don't need any sleepless nights. This is 60-40. At this number right here, you've got a 20% difference. Now, Mayor Stimpson at 58%, you've got a solid support from the African-American community, solid support from the white community. He's moving jobs. He's getting along with the council. I don't see a lot of bumps in the road for him. It would be very hard for Jones to make this up. But, Bob, the election's not today. The election is in August. There's 3 months here for this campaign to play itself out. We don't know what's going to happen.
That's right. Jonathan Gray from Strategy Research, thank you very much. That's the results of our exclusive Fox 10 News poll.